Hello friends. So now I'm going to take the opportunity to show you how to practice in a really correct way Japa meditation in traditional Tantra. Now, if you are receiving a mantra from, it can be anybody, say you have a teacher or somebody who is initiating you into mantra sadhana, they will have their own way of guiding you to make this. So what I will share with you today is how we practice Japa meditation within Shivoham Tantra. So this is how we've been taught from our guru, and this is how we show others. Now, there are different levels of mantra practice, and as you progress through the different paths of Tantra, so we spoke about in previous moments about the path of Kaula Tantra, Mishra Tantra, Samaya Tantra. As we go along, we get different additions to the technique. You will never really start in basic, the beginning of the path, and suddenly the teacher is like giving you all the tools at once. We have to prepare ourselves energetically and also mentally to be able to really develop a maturity, to really know how to use mala, to really know how to use techniques such as niyas, how to be able to really respect the mantras that we are being given. And so what I'm going to do today is just show you a kind of basics, but actually for many of you that have been practicing mantra sadhana before, I guarantee you will learn something new here, okay? So basically in our mantra sadhana, we would receive a mantra, whether it's a personal mantra or a general mantra. There are, of course, many open mantras that we can access quite easily on the internet. But when you have a mantra given to you for a specific sadhana, then this becomes what we call more of a closed mantra. And then, of course, if you get a mantra that is just personally for you, then it's more like a secret mantra. It's not something you're going to repeat to other people, or definitely not to share with other people. That energy is for you to do your inner work. Yeah. Now, as you can see, I am sat on my Asan. We call this Asan. So I brought one here just to kind of show you. An Asan can be made of anything that is in natural material. So I find these like super helpful and useful. They're like rugs that you can buy in the stores. And they're quite often made in India, actually. So if you're lucky enough to go to India, you can try to get one of these really sturdy asans. This would last you a lifetime, actually, because the material is really thick and it's like a good foundation for your practice. So my asan is actually two asans sewn together. I have my old one here and then a new one that I received from Guruji. And so I just combined them, because the reason that we have these asans is because all the mantra sadhana, all the japa that we do, the energy is collected here. And I am the only one that touches this. When you have an asan, it's your energy container. It's your sacred cloth that you take care of. And you know, we have to really be very careful with it. So if you're kind of sitting around and you get up and go to the toilet, it's always better to fold your asan so that you don't leave it and somebody walks past and doesn't realize and steps on it. So the reason that we have an asan, is so that when we are making our japa meditation, as we are making this cosmic connection and the energy is coming in, we don't lose that energy back into the earth. It kind of provides a container, like I just said. And so then we can start our mantra japa, repeating the mantra continuously. And we have our underneath support here. And the color of the asan can be varied. very typically, it's always good to have a red asan. Most of the mantras we use in Tantra are Shakti mantras. They generate the energy, the Shakti. And so if you have a red asan, you always have a good base asan. But of course, if you're working with mantras of Shiva, then you will use a white asan. If you are working with Vishnu, you will wear use a yellow asan. And with Brahma is also white. So this being said, I'm just going to show this now because we are in the process of speaking about this. If you want to finish your sadhana and your time is up, and normally unless specified, we normally do sadhana for 1 hour. Obviously, if you're really at the beginning and you're given a beginner's mantra, a beginning purification mantra, then you can do less time. Obviously, speak with whoever gives you the mantra. But generally for us, 1 hour is a minimum because it really gets the energy moving inside and gives a significant chance to make the energy connection. Now, when we've finished, I like to come up on my knees. If you know something like what we call, we have a prayer that we have at the end of the sadhana that we recite in order to bring humility to the end of the practice. Sometimes we call this a sorry prayer, where we are basically saying, if I've made a mistake, if I've chanted my mantra wrong, please have mercy on me. You know, this type of energy. So I often feel it brings a really nice, humble energy. But it's not for you if you're just beginning. Like, again, this is something that you'll have as you develop. So if you don't have this particular mantra, this particular prayer, then you'll just give your gratitude. Just have a moment of awareness. And then you will go to a corner. Now you can take the front left or front right. At this point, it doesn't really matter which. And you basically fold that corner back. And then you bring your head and you come down and you touch your head on the ground. And then you lift your head up, stroke the floor with your hands and brush your forehead and brush the top of the head. And then this is it. And then you can just sit for a moment longer if you feel. But this is the end of the sadhana. Now, this being said, I know it's like an extra ritual and maybe there are questions why we particularly do that. As far as I understand, there are 2 reasons. Number one, when we make this finishing aspect in this way, it's said that we are disconnecting the energy. It doesn't mean to say that we are disconnected. It just means that that download, that connection to the energy of the mantra stops. And that's a really good thing because you don't want to be going, for example, immediately to the toilet and then deal with something that, you know, like a toilet moment when the mantra is somehow still connected to you, because it's really good to separate the mantra from activities such as this. And the other thing that I really, really like is that by going in this gesture, it brings a sense of humility. Even to put your hand on the floor is like bringing the dust, the dirt from the floor and just like bringing that humbleness, which I feel is really important in Tantra, because especially when we generate this Shakti, this energy, we can sometimes feel this me-I-ness, and just to cool it down with, okay, please, Om Namah Shivaya, you know, this type of gesture can just bring a more Shanti. So this is the Asan ritual.